Welcome back from the break. You're watching NewsX and I'm Asavri Jindal. A massive crowd that gathered to celebrate Royal Challengers Bengaluru's first Indian Premier League title turned tragic on Wednesday evening after a stampede near the Chinnaswamy Stadium killed 11 people and injured 30 others. According to authorities, most of those who died were young people, both men and women, and several among them were students. According to authorities, most of those who passed away were young. That's very unfortunate. The Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has said that the tragedy resulted from poor coordination and overwhelming turnout. Police said around 50,000 people had gathered within a 1 kilometer radius of the stadium and many tried to push through gates and climb over barriers. Several photos and videos from the incident site show fans pushing and shoving each other. Multiple pictures show RCB supporters trying to scale walls and climb over gates to secure entry. Among other reasons, there was confusion over event plans as the Bengaluru traffic police announced in the morning that there would be no victory parade, only a celebration inside the stadium. However, at 3:14 p.m., the RCB management posted on social media that a parade would indeed take place at 5 p.m. followed by stadium celebrations. They also announced limited free passes online. This mixed message confused fans, many of whom showed up at the stadium without tickets or hoping to get passes. Breaking news coming in at this point of time by Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar has broken silence as he comes out to address the media for the first time after the Bengaluru Stampede. He's added that we must learn an administrative lesson. Let the opposition do politics on dead bodies. I will list how many dead bodies they have done politics on. Take a listen. Okay, all right. We'll get that soundbite shortly, but my colleague Belly Thomas joins us on the broadcast to give us more on this. Belly, of course, now a statement there being issued by D.K. Shivakumar, who's saying that, okay, there's politics that's going on, but what's to be highlighted over here is the fact that he's saying that this was an administrative lesson that he's learned via this tragedy that unfolded.
Absolutely, Asavari. The opposition BJP leaders have shot at the ruling Congress, saying that their government's failure is showing pretty much in this particular incident, and they started to hold the government responsible for the incident, whereas the government is searching for a person or a body or an organization to be held culpable for this particular incident. So as of now, when it comes to the victims and the injured people, the deceased victims and the injured people in the hospital, D.K. Shivakumar have gone and visited them, and he came out and he broke down, and he said that he was very sad and disappointed to see children's bodies, and he also shot at the he attacked the BJP in the opposition, stating that let them do politics over dead bodies, and he's literally going to count how many bodies they are doing politics on. Let them do. But what we accept is that there was a mistake, an administrative mistake from which we have to learn, and then he has to one has to fix culpability also. So these were the crux of the reaction that D.K. Shivakumar came out after visiting the victims who were injured and their family members. Asavari.
Absolutely. In fact, with us in the broadcast is Mr. Sanjay Sahai. So thank you so much for once again joining us on the broadcast. And since we last spoke, two developments have taken place. Mr. G. Parameshwara has come out and said that a magistrate inquiry is being conducted. And now, of course, D.K. Shivakumar coming out and saying that we've learnt an administrative lesson over here. What do you make of these comments that have been made?
Yeah, so we start with G. Parameshwara. and that a magisterial inquiry by single-member magisterial inquiry by a sitting deputy commissioner is being made. I think yesterday in the Honorable Chief Minister's press conference, he had made it amply clear that it is nobody's responsibility or there is nobody who can be held accountable, and the crowds poured in a 35,000 seating stadium. Some 2 or 3 lakh people came in, and that is how this whole thing transpired. So I think the trajectory of the inquiry is also very, very clear as to where it will go and whether while working with the state government as deputy commissioner will be able to come up with something which will be very, very scary or something which would actually bring the skeletons out of the cupboard. I'll come to the next point. In between, I'd like to say that I think literally nobody knew as to what was happening yesterday. So that is the crux of the matter. If anybody intends to debate, I'm ready to debate on that. So nobody knew, and every single organization which was a part of this whole exercise, everybody wanted to extract his pound of flesh, which primarily means that government was on its political mileage or whatever, they were on their own spree, photo ops or whatever. And then this whole establishment from RCB till BCCI, they were on their own trip. Suffice to say that the backdrop is of crash commercialization. And only money operates and nothing else operates. And in the process, from traffic to planning to execution to all that 5,000 constables or 5,000 police personnel, all that story is making rounds. End of the story is, if you go with any visual, and in contrast to what was there in the Vidhan Sauda, what we see in Chinnaswamy Stadium, which is a much bigger crowd, we hardly see police presence and that nature of a crowd to finally come there. They would have come through some route. It is not that they would have fallen from the skies. So that crowd reaching there, and there's absolutely no controls anywhere on the way, and finding people on treetops and on poles. I don't think after reaching that sort of a situation, anything great could have been done, and even the rescue operation was tardy, so to say. So this is regarding the first one. Regarding the second comment, I think what you're talking about is that this is something went wrong and we have to learn lessons. Governments and governance. One is the elected government and the second is the bureaucracy and the police and all. They are not our trust is not reposed in them for experiments. Our trust is reposed in them that they will deliver. And they will learn lessons from this, and then the next one they will implement, right? I've been seeing crowd management failures day in and day out. And I don't think anybody in this country today has learned any lesson. Had we learned lesson from Hathras, had we learned lesson from Kum or New Delhi railway station or from Chennai air display, I think these things wouldn't have happened. Anyway, it wouldn't have happened. So learning lessons at the risk of 11 lives and bringing that whole great glory to RCB, to bring it to ashes. I think that those lessons from a professional organization with the police or the government, I don't think those are the lessons to be learned, and nobody would like that such lessons are learned in the manner it was learned, and that from this they will go on and improve, that these are the points, here they need training, here they need this sort of documentation, here they need this sort of calibration, here they need this sort of technology. We will not see these lessons anywhere. And tomorrow, if you were to find out as to what lessons the government learned and how it has implemented, you will get a big zero.
Right, so absolutely. I request you to stay on with us, because we're also getting to know that the Karnataka Home Minister G. Parameshwara is at the Chinnaswamy Stadium. He's inspecting the stadium site. That's the development that we are tracking at this point of time. Belly is with us on the broadcast. Belly, take our viewers to the details. Of course, the visuals are there on our screens.
Asawari, the Karnataka Home Minister has visited the spot where the stampede had happened inside the Chinnaswamy Stadium, and he had gone around talking with the KSCA officials also as to what transpired yesterday and what were all the lapses that that could have resulted in this particular stampede. And the Home Minister was also questioning as to how many people, how many guards were employed inside the stadium premises for handling crowd, and how many people were outside. And he was also discussing discussing about the ticketing pattern of the stadium management, and he was also inquiring about, like, how would the in a stadium where international matches have been organized and played, and it is indeed good at the crowd management. How did this particular incident go out of hand is what the main thing. So he has visited the exact spot where the stampede had happened, and took a briefing from the police officers present there, and also held talks with the KSCA members as to what exactly had happened. Is it because the gates were not opened as the crowds were bulging, or were they trying to control only 35,000 people who can be accommodated inside, whereas lakhs and lakhs of them were outside? So all these things were taken into consideration with the Home Minister's visit here to the Chinnaswamy Stadium, Asavari.
Okay, all right. Mr. Sahai continues to be with us, sir. We can sort of predict how things are going to go from now. There is going to be, finger pointing that's going to happen. You should take the responsibility. You are responsible, so on and so forth. And between the tu me, there is going to be an attempt to brush this blunder under the carpet. What to do about that?
See, the responsibility is crystal clear. Security is the responsibility of the state government, and through the state government of the police. There needs to be huge amount of documentation as to where the bandobast arrangements have been made, and those documents should be available. Whether the documents were there in the first place, who took the permission, who gave the permission, and permission was given for what number of crowd. See, we are handling international cricket matches and all that. That is a cock and bull story, and nobody will go by that story whatsoever. Anybody who has some amount of professional capability and professional expertise of policing and crowd management will not buy that story. See, that is when the matches are organized 1 month, 2 months in advance, and through a very, very well-planned drill, things happen, number of tickets. This was a totally different story. I don't know how many people were even aware of the fact that they will be allowed entry at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, at what time it was made known, and that communication mess which was happening, which none of the stakeholders wanted to take it on them. If they want to fix the responsibility is very clear. Whether it will stop with the police or with the bureaucrats or with the political brass, which never takes responsibility of anything, and they have never been fixed for any crowd management, so that is left to them. This particular magisterial inquiry, in which way it goes, we don't know. Hopefully it will go the way we desire, but we have absolutely no idea, or it will become another report. Accountability henceforth can happen only when there is a very clear-cut system of how to manage events which are sporadic in nature. This is a sporadic event. This cannot be managed in an assembly line sort of a mechanism. So in case there are sporadic incidents of this nature or arrangements to be made in this nature, what are the resources to be brought and how it has to be managed, how your metro came to a standstill. Then you talk to anybody in Central Business District. Yesterday I've been talking to a couple of people, though I stay in South Bangalore, they tell me we were able to make out that something awry is there. It is like premonition. It reached a level where you can call it as a premonition. You started getting a feeling that something wrong will happen. And finally it did. So that is where we are. So accountability will come, and the most interesting part is, now who will fix whose accountability and who has the expertise? I would like to know, for a crowd management of this nature, or whatever we have been talking about ad nauseam since yesterday, whose capability and whose expertise will you bank on? Is the magistrate an expert on crowd management, or you will also see couple of who will you go to? Today we have reached a level where governance has reached a level of mediocrity, where there is nobody to tell you what is right and what is wrong, and people are trying to get away with literally anything and everything. Somebody talks of uncontrollable. Yesterday there's a spokesperson who was talking about madness, that we can control crowd, we cannot control madness. Now whose madness he was talking about, I have absolutely no idea. And the people are trying to put it on crowd frenzy, and it has happened after 18 years. For a surgeon, whether the person is coming out of an accident or he is coming out of whatever the cause may be, the surgery has to be successful. As a pure policing professional, you need to know what is your problem statement. And yesterday, somehow, I think, I don't know, we were not sure of the fact as to what is happening, in which manner it is happening. So this is where I'm still, I think, literally confused, because this is the same signals we get every time. Magisterial inquiry, we will fix the responsibility, we will do this. And the most fascinating part about yesterday was that the governments have been doing what they have been doing, and all of us are familiar with that in the media and civilians like me. But the way RCB was handling, the way KSCI was handling, the way BCCI was handling, the way IPL chairman or president was handling, that was most bizarre, where they literally said, we wash off our hands and let whatever happen, we are not bothered about it. And I presume they have been able to wash off their hands. So their accountability also need not be forgotten. If KSCI or RCB was doing, then did they go and apply to somebody? Did they get the approval? Did they get? There are a variety of questions which are there, and these questions are not rocket science. All of us know. If they really mean what they are talking about, which they generally don't, it depends. At the end of the day, it is your conscience, your capability to do things, and whether you intend or you desire to do. Otherwise, you mismanage, create a situation of this nature, and you give a certificate is hunky-dory and nothing could have been done about it. Still, we are so fair, and we are going in for a magisterial inquiry. So I don't know. So these are my thoughts, and we are certainly not satisfied with the way things were managed all throughout the day yesterday, and even beyond, in press conferences and reactions and things of that nature, with no ambulance there. So there are a variety of things which come into the picture. It is a complex, crowd management is a complex exercise. That also, when it comes unannounced, of the nature which was to be done yesterday, and the nature of resources where you are not very clear about. It is a cricket match, you know what resources you require and the way it will be structured. So these are the situations for which we have professional police, we have professional governance. They have to come up to that level and deliver. If they fail, there is some issue with the expertise, with the capability to take responsibility, with the capability to deliver. And the worst is when you finally decide to cover your tracks and tell the world that nothing wrong has happened or it was something which was beyond our control. Lastly, you take a digital arrest or you take a crowd mismanagement. Finally, they will tell you that it is the mistake of the people, of the fan, of the crowd, of the people, of the citizens. And governments generally try to wash off their hands. So primarily they were talking about 35,000. Who gave the intelligence that 50,000 people will come? It's not the crowd which has given the intelligence. Who was monitoring the social media? So leave aside purely professional expertise related physical things which we are supposed to do. There are lots of other elements. They also did not fall in place. What was our communication strategy? Did we have even public address systems in place? So I don't know. This broadly, I am at a loss. I've been talking about such incidents for quite some time. Because things need to be done. And show, they say show shall go on. Show has to be stopped. You set right things. You write on the ticket that we ensure security. That is your job. We are paying for it. So if the show goes on like this, then unaccountability and evasiveness also will continue in the same manner.
Right, so absolutely. I request you to stay on with us. We have some more breaking news coming in where T. Kemparaju Medical Superintendent, Boring and Lady Curzon Hospital revealed that yesterday after the stampede, we received 18 injured persons and 6 bodies. Out of the 18 injured persons, 8 took treatment and went home, and the remaining 10 patients are admitted to the hospital for observation. Among the 10 persons admitted to the hospital, 3 persons sustained fractures in their leg. Listen in.
Yesterday, because of RCB Stampede celebration incident, we have received about 18 patients and 6 dead bodies. All 6 dead bodies we have received as brought dead. So among 18 patients, So most of the patients taken, 8 patients taken outpatient treatment and they went home happily. And other 10 patients we have admitted for observation. Among 10 patients, 3 patients were the orthopedic patients. They have sustained fractures of both bones of the leg. So we are preparing them for surgery today. And other small injury cases, about 7 cases, almost they have discharged. One boy is by name Bilal. He is taking treatment at the pediatric ward. He has got some right eye subconjunctival hemorrhage. He is under treatment. I have told our ophthalmologist to take care of that patient. So within 1 or 2 days he will become all right. No, right now there is no.
All right, Belly is with us on the broadcast to give us more on this. Belly, of course, now we're getting to know at this point of time that yesterday when the stampede broke out, there were as many as 18 injured persons and 6 bodies, that were there. Of those 18, 10 people are still at the hospital. Some even have fractures in their legs.
Absolutely, Sabari. So this is the government hospital, Boring Hospital, where I'm standing in front of. So here there were 18 patients who were brought in yesterday, along with 6 others. 6 other dead bodies is what the medical superintendent said. So out of this 18, 8 people who had taken outpatient treatment and had been discharged, and out of the 10, there are 3 people who have sustained fractures. And besides that, there were the 6 dead bodies. The post-mortem were conducted overnight after the inquest was done by the DC here. And besides this hospital, there was another hospital closer to Chinnaswamy Stadium, which is Vaidehi, where another 4 bodies were brought dead. And there was one more dead body that was brought to Manipal Hospital. So these 3 hospitals were there in the vicinity of Chinnaswamy Stadium, where the victims of the stampede were taken to. And here, as we speak, all the patients who have been admitted are undergoing inpatient treatment. Some of them have undergone surgery, and like the medical superintendent said, there is also an infant who is taking treatment for conjunctival injury. So apart from that, there are some few more injured people admitted to Manipal as well as the Vaidehi Hospital, Savari.
Absolutely. Belly, stay on with us. We have some more breaking news coming in, where Union Minister Kiren Rijiju reacted on the Bengaluru stampede. He offered heartfelt condolences to those who lost their lives and to their families as well, of course. Take a listen.
उसको जो लोग संबंधित लोग हैं इसको अपने प्रक्रिया दे रहे हैं। मेरा तरफ से तो जो स्टैम्पीड में जो पीड़ित है, जो मौत हुए हैं, उनके प्रति और उनके परिवार के प्रति हमारा संवेदना और हमारा प्रेयर रहेगा कि जो मरे हैं उनका आत्मा शांति के लिए, और जो पीड़ित परिवार के जो लोग हैं उनके प्रति।
Belly on the telecast with me. Belly, take us through the details.
Asawari, it is certainly an unfortunate incident that Kiren Rijiju was referring to, and he said that he was praying for the souls of the deceased to rest in peace, and he was also wishing for the recovery of the injured who have been admitted. And there are certain administrative lapses that has to be looked into by the state, and the government cannot shy away from its responsibility of organizing such a huge event and then ending up with a crisis like this, and which is indeed making a kind of a bad remark on their stature. Asavari.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Belly, for joining us on the broadcast, sharing all those details. Meanwhile, several political reactions are coming in. Take a listen.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi in the past has said he is willing to take responsibility for any wrongs done by the Congress. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi even has an iota of conscience left, he will immediately ensure and secure the resignations of the Congress government in Karnataka, the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, for this colossal tragedy. The Chief Minister, the Congress Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka are trying to duck responsibility and pass the buck for this stampede which happened. But the CM and the Deputy CM are squarely responsible. The buck stops with both of them, and Rahul Gandhi.
ये देखिए, अब उनको पता नहीं था, वहां सब लोग थे, सब लोग जीत का जश्न मना रहे थे। अब उसी में भगदड़ हुई, तो भगदड़ की खबर जब सबको पता लगेगा तब है ना कि घटना क्या हो गई। तो घटना की जानकारी हुई, तुरंत सारे कार्यक्रम पोस्टपोन्ड हो गए। फिर उनके बचाव में सारी सरकार और नेता अधिकारी सब लोग उनके बचाव में लगे। जिनको चोट आई उनको हॉस्पिटल पहुंचाने में लग गए, जिनको डेथ हो गई तो उनको अंतिम संस्कार की तैयारी।
सबसे पहले तो मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से संवेदनाएं व्यक्त करता हूं सभी परिवारों को जिन्होंने अपना खोया है। और ये कहना गलत नहीं होगा कि कहीं शोक था और कांग्रेस में जश्न का माहौल था। जिन्हें जनता का रक्षक बनना था वो भक्षक बने हुए थे और संवेदनहीनता की पराकाष्ठा थी। मैं सबसे पहले ये कहूंगा, ये हत्याएं हैं और ये हत्याएं हुई हैं क्योंकि आपराधिक लापरवाही मुख्यमंत्री सिद्धारमैया द्वारा, उप मुख्यमंत्री डीके शिव कुमार जी द्वारा की गई है। इट इज द केस ऑफ क्रिमिनल नेग्लिजेंस। और ये दुख की बात है कि जब मुख्यमंत्री सिद्धारमैया जी से पूछा गया कि आपको क्या कहना है, तो उन्होंने बड़े गैर जिम्मेदाराना तरीके से कहा, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था कि इतने लोग आने वाले हैं। व्यवस्था बनाए रखना आखिर किसकी जिम्मेदारी है? क्या ये मुख्यमंत्री सिद्धारमैया पूरे देश को बताएंगे या नहीं बताएंगे? और शर्मसार करने वाला जो कृत्य है वो डीके शिव कुमार जी का है। जब उनको खबर लग गई कि वहां पे जो उपस्थित हमारे भाई बहन हैं उनकी जान चली गई है, उसके बाद भी डीके शिव कुमार जी अपनी पीआर एक्सरसाइज को आगे बढ़ाते हुए फोटो खिंचवा रहे थे, ठहाके मार रहे थे। उस कार्यक्रम को समाप्त नहीं किया गया। ये क्या दर्शाता है? ये दर्शाता है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के डीएनए में संवेदनहीनता है।
All right, we're going to leave it there and shift our focus to some more news coming in, where heavy rainfall triggers flooding in low-lying areas such as Rukmini Gaon, Guwahati, Assam. Roads and homes are submerged, disrupting daily life, and children face difficulties in reaching school. Meanwhile, listen in to what Assam Chief Minister has to say.
अभी स्थिति सुधर गया है। अभी लोग कैंप से घर में जाना शुरू कर दिया है, लेकिन ये फास्ट वेव ही था। असम में कम से कम 3 वेव तो आते ही है, तो इसीलिए मैं मानता हूँ ये टेम्पोररीली रिलीव है। अभी ये नहीं बोल सकता हूँ कि बाढ़ परिस्थिति का परमानेंटली इम्प्रूव हुआ है।
Brian on the telecast with me. Brian, if you can take our viewers to the details of the situation in Assam at this point of time and what it is that the Chief Minister said.
Well, Assam, clearly the situation in Assam is because of the relentless heavy rainfall that has led to severe flooding in low-lying areas, including Rukmani Gaon, and that's what the CM has even said. It clearly caused widespread disruption to daily life. There have been many roads also that have been rendered impassable as water level even rising. We've been showing you the visuals also. There were residential areas also that was inundated, and many homes were also partially submerged, forcing families to even wade through knee-deep waters to access essential services. Now, clearly, if we talk of the flooding itself, it has had a particularly harsh impact on school-going children who are struggling to reach their classrooms due to waterlogged streets. There have been unsafe conditions also. Now, parents have also been expressing, concerns itself. They have been raising concern over the children's safety, while some schools have also reported low attendance, temporary closure, and local authorities are also clearly monitoring the situation. But our residents are also, saying that relief measures have been slow to arrive itself. Yes.
Absolutely. Brian, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sharing all those details with us. We're going to leave it there and shift our focus to some more news coming in, where as per sources to NewsX, in a major crackdown in Pakistan, Spygate, Haseen was preparing a big network of sleeper cells on the instructions of the ISI. Haseen got instructions from Pakistan to connect as many people as possible. Haseen gave 4 Indian numbers to ISI in Pakistan. These numbers are being used by PIOS to trap people in honey trap. Haseen went to Pakistan 2 or 3 times but stayed at his relative's house, but used the phones of Pakistani relatives to talk to Pakistani handlers. Meanwhile, both Haseen and Qasim will be produced in Patiala court today. Aditya on the telecast with me. Aditya, if you can take our viewers through the details of this source-based information that's pouring in.
Well, Savri, if you see, so as per the source-based, information, this Haseen was staying in India along with Qasim, and he was, in the process of preparing a big network of Pakistani spies in India with the help of inter-services intelligence, the spy agency of Pakistan. And, at this juncture, it is very essential to note here that, recently we have seen that so many Pakistani spies have been arrested from Punjab and Haryana. So at this juncture, a high level of alertness needs to be maintained. Security agencies are leaving no stone unturned to bust such, Pakistani spies network, because, ISI is actively now recruiting people, to, forge a spy network within India. So at this juncture, all the attempts of the ISI, the Pakistani establishment, have been failed. As far as the current situation is concerned. As far as this Haseen case of this Haseen is concerned, now further after he will be interrogated by the security agencies, further more leads will give as to how more these spy networks of the Pakistani ISI have been formed or are in the process of being formed, and then subsequently they will be busted too. But at this juncture, it is important to note how to prevent such networks from becoming yes, Savri.
All right, absolutely, Aditya. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sharing all those details. On that note, we slip into a very short break. Thanks for watching.